Okay.
I'm sure I have it plugged in the right place.
You're ready.
Well, you guys probably happen to notice me as I stumbled into the room tonight. And I'd like to say good evening. I am Dwayne McGardis. I am running for Wilton Town Council. I've been a proud resident of Wilton for 24 years. I have raised my family here and recently retired here. During my 24 years, I have actively volunteered my time. I have coached a multitude of youth sports teams. I'm an active volunteer with the John Vinsek Adopt a Soldier Memorial Hayride. I volunteer at Park Fest and the Gashua Park Holiday Party. I'm one of 3 people who brought the Are You OK program to the town of Wilton. I currently sit on this program, on this committee in the town. Wilton is one of the most prosperous towns in the county and state. There's no debt, no town or highway tax, and a substantial money reservoir and reserve. I would like to take some credit for this, but I cannot. Previously, fiscally responsible boards have navigated us to where we are today. I will continue to hold these values of fiscal responsibility to keep Wilton the town that it is. Now that I am retired, I can dedicate the time and energy that this position requires. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwayne. Next we will hear from Ken Garcia.
League of Women Voters, thank you very, very much. What you do is the essence of democracy. I counted a few seconds ago, there were in excess of 75 people in this room. Young boys and girls in this room, this is really for you to learn about your democracy. Residents of Wilton, thank you very much for coming out this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ken Garcia. I moved here with my wife, Darlene, who happens to be in the room, thank you, hon, with our firstborn child, Christian, in 1993. At the time, I was an economic development analyst for the New York State Senate. Just prior to moving here, I had a $5,000 deposit on a home in Burnt Hills. As I was reading an article in City and State or Governing magazine, I forget which one, I came upon a story that highlighted the vision of Roy McDonald and the vision for the town of Wilton. Needless to say, I had a caveat to get out of my contract. To paraphrase Ray O'Connor, who said, people vote with their feet, I took my deposit back, put a deposit on a home at 3 Kings Mills Road, and I became a resident of Wilton shortly thereafter. I ran for town council in 2007, and the reason why I ran is this. I grew up in a town called Spring Valley, New York. The number of my home was number 3. I live at 3 Kings Mills. I picked that number of our house, and that's in our subdivision for a reason. I watched my town deteriorate dramatically from growth that was not in the best interest of the existing residents first. We all want growth. Without growth, there is death. I am a pro-growth advocate. But what I will bring to your table is this. If you have a concern in this town that is not being met by the people that represent you, I will do my due diligence to fight for it, to make certain that it becomes important to you. The 70-30, 80-20 rule that's run this town typically says those 20-30%, it's okay. I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Next we'll hear from John McCaffrey. And we have a microphone that we're going to let you guys share. You'll just have to pass it along. Just, yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for attending.
Can you put it closer to your mouth? Sorry.
Can we start the clock over?
Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for attending. I'd like to thank the Women's League of Voters for hosting this event. My name is John McCaffrey. I'm currently a town councilman here in Wilton. I own and operate a local small business here in town. I'm an active volunteer at the Maple Avenue Fire Department and married with 6 children we raised here in town and 6 grandchildren. I've lived in Wilton my entire life, born in Saratoga Springs. I have always and will continue to put the residents ahead of outside interests. During the past 4 years, while a lot of other towns in our state are financially failing, Wilton remains to stay strong, always having a balanced budget and having room to expand to accommodate our residents and their growing families. We've added funds to the highway budget so our Superintendent Woodcock can add wider shoulders to any new roads being paved or repaved, making them safer to walk or even ride a bicycle. We've also funded the spray park and ice skating rink at Gavin Park, all without a town tax and still a balanced budget. There are many problems in the world today, especially in the Far East, and the growing deficits in our own country. But here in Wilton, we're showing signs of good, responsible growth and continuously adding to our surplus. One issue we're facing, aside from traffic, is the upcoming fee schedule for pickleball. A $2 per day increase for non-residents, and we're currently looking for a solution. But folks, my family remains in Wilton, for my family, Wilton remains to be a safe and friendly place to raise a family and even retire, which is why most families chose to move here to begin with. My goal is to continue with that tradition. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next we'll hear from Paula Tancredi Penman.
Good evening. I am Paula Tancredi Penman. I chose to live in Wilton 10 years ago, which was no small decision, because this is where I decided to raise my son. He's in the 5th grade at Dorothy Nolan Elementary School, and we take full advantage of the opportunities in Wilton, including the junior NBA, rec soccer, and the Wilton's rec summer camp at Gavin Park. I'm involved with the HSA at his school, and I lead the Odyssey of the Mind program at Dorothy Nolan. And now I would like to extend and expand my community service. The timing is right for me to hold public office in Wilton. I always planned to be a public servant. In high school and college, I worked on both Republican and Democrat campaigns. As an undergrad at Rutgers University, I studied political science at the Eagleton Institute of Politics. And I'm surprised it has taken me this long to run for office. But I took some other paths. I earned my MBA from the Yale School of Management with a focus in strategy and marketing, 2 essential tools for today's town of Wilton. I'm comfortable with multi-million-dollar budgets, even billion-dollar budgets. I know strategic planning, 5, 10, 25-year plans, without which our town will not be prosperous. A marketing perspective includes how to consider the culture of Wilton, relative to the past, relative to surrounding towns, and relative to the future. I raised my hand to run for office, not only to bring my experience and expertise to the town board, but also to provide balance. I have worked on numerous nonprofit boards, including the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation and the Shelters of Saratoga. Committee work is the key to success on those boards, and it is the key to success for our town board. I know what it is to put in the work, to do the research, to consider other points of view, voice my point of view, and work for a collaborative process, and not take shortcuts. Our town deserves representation from more than one gender, more than one political party, more than a few community interests. It deserves balanced, strategic thinking. I'm ready to talk about Wilton. I'm ready to listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.